All right. Okay. We are now recording.
Awesome.
Plus, I think people will be able to see me because everybody was like, "You're coming in blurry." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on the bad connection today. We have two internets here. Actually, I shouldn't be." Shh. um, we're so because we're in a rural, like we're on a farm in the mountains, and so it's like pretty
Mm.
much crappy internet across the board. But once in a while, we can get good internet, and so it's like it's a magical thing when that happens. All right, cool. Back to the interview. So let's just restart, and then because for anybody who wasn't part of the original live event, so for anybody tuning in now, we were going to do a live, but due to a couple of technical difficulties on Instagram, we've now moved to a pre-recorded session instead, which is also great. So anybody who doesn't know me, I am Dr. Serina Patterson. I am the founder and owner of Earthlove, an Earthlove box here at Spirit Wild Farm. And we are a seasonal lifestyle Ecolux subscription box to help you live a healthier, more sustainable life in harmony with the earth. I think I forgot to mention, we also give back to a seasonal, we have a featured cause each season, and we give back to an environmental nonprofit that the community votes on. So this season we are supporting Roselia Project in their efforts to reduce plastic pollution in the ocean. If you want to, and and we have all these wonderful lifestyle products, and I should also say, including True Moringa's Lip Whip, which is featured in our autumn box that is currently shipping. It'll be shipping until November 12th. So if you want to try this out, which we will be talking about in the later on today, you can snag a box over at earthlove.co if you want to find out more about Earthlove, or at truemoringa.com if you want to check out True Moringa, learn all about Moringa, and well as all their other wonderful products that they have. And seriously, they're amazing. So check them out too. So today we're here interviewing Emily Cunningham. She is a co-founder of True Moringa, which was founded in 2012 as well. And they are an amazing company because not only do they work with the miracle tree, which is Moringa, which is an ancient, um, known in the ancient world as well as modern day as a healing medicinal herb and topical. But they also work directly with farmers in Ghana to help alleviate poverty, increase wealth in the local area, as well as give back. You also plant trees, so they are doing it all. And we want to go today. We're going to dig a little bit deeper and dive into True Moringa and the Moringa, as well as supporting farmers. So yeah, I think we'll start with just how you guys got started and your inspiration for starting True Moringa. Um, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So my co-founder Kwame was born and raised in Ghana, and he and his family won the diversity visa lottery when he was 8 years old. So he moved to Baltimore, Maryland, and grew up in the U.S. And was all set, living the American dream on his way to becoming a rocket scientist. He studied aerospace engineering at MIT and worked for NASA. And then he did a complete 180 when a mentor of his challenged him to go back to Ghana and kind of reconnect with his roots. And so
Mm.
it was there that he learned about the moringa tree, and we also met there through
Aw.
a program at MIT called D-Lab. So my background is in development economics,
Mm.
and I was, kind of frustrated by the disconnect between the policies that you learn in school and
Mm.
what that actually does on the ground. So we were both really excited to find D-Lab and their totally different approach to development, which is community driven,
Mm,
using design thinking and local knowledge, local resources to solve local problems.
mm-hmm.
And so we first learned about Moringa through farmers we were working with there. They told us that NGOs and Peace Corps had told them to plant Moringa trees for the nutritional benefits of the leaves. The leaves are super nutritious, gram for gram, more iron than spinach, more protein than yogurt, more calcium than
Wow.
milk. So it's basically this, solution to malnutrition that grows in the desert. But farmers couldn't afford to spend the time or resources on them if they weren't making money from this new crop.
Mm,
And so we took the unused part of the tree, which are the moringa seeds, back to our labs at MIT and cold pressed them into moisturizing oil for skincare and hair care. And so now it's kind of a dual food and cash crop. Farmers sell us the moringa seeds. They're able
mm.
to use the leaves for their own nutrition. So yeah, that's kind of how we got our start and why we decided to work with Moringa.
That's amazing. It really is like the miracle tree. And I was reading like there is these Ayurvedic India texts from India, and they were talking about how, Moringa um has been known to be like to treat over like 300 ailments, like, and I mean I don't even know, I don't know if that's true, like, but like there have been like medicinal studies, like doctors have researched moringa and actually um don't really know don't really know the science because I didn't go into it too much, but like that can be quite healing, and it's healing as a topical as well. People in I know like in around the Mediterranean and Greece and Rome, and even other parts of Europe, like it was known as a perfume, and its oil was highly prized, even along the Salt Road as well. So it was highly prized and traded among people in more elite society if you could have moringa, and then I think also in parts of Africa, where you can grow it, I suppose, it was viewed as like a vegetable. So because it was more plentiful there.
Mhm.
So it's interesting, just throughout history how important it was to both local populations as well as beyond. And then yet like nowadays, like um, I came to Moringa more recently, so it's like, what is this magical tree? What does it do? So it's like you guys are doing an amazing job, like kind of bringing the topical like oil aspects to um to the world in a larger way that people probably living in Ghana probably like have known for a long long time. And there's like, well, yeah. So yeah, so I would love if you could speak a little bit more to moringa as an oil, and like what it can do to your skin, and as yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a common misconception that if you have oily skin or combination skin, you want to stay away from oil. We were kind of all brainwashed by the big companies in the
Mm-hmm.
90s and early 2000s, oil
Yeah.
free this, oil free that.
Yeah.
But actually stripping away the oil from your skin is not good, no matter what skin type you have. And actually replenishing that oil with an oil that complements the oil your skin produces naturally will kind of help quell that overproduction of oil and
Mm,
lead to more balanced skin. So that's the great thing about moringa. It's a super dry oil. It doesn't feel
mm,
greasy, and
mm.
it penetrates really deep into the skin. So it leaves you feeling moisturized long after you apply. We have a lot of new moms that use it for caring for stretch marks and scars.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just kind of a wonderful all-purpose oil. So, I use it on my face, hair, cuticles. It's just kind of like nature's moisturizer. You can kind of
Oh, I
carry
love
everywhere with
that.
you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And so even if you have like I know a lot of members have like eczema and like skin issues and stuff, is it gentle enough on the skin? Because I know people are like really sensitive.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, my co-founder Kwame always talks about he has eczema. When he moved back to Ghana, he wasn't able to get his, specialty lotions and creams, and then he was like, "Wait a minute, I run a skincare company. Maybe I should try this on myself." And yeah, was just like really blown away by the results, and has
Mm,
since just like stopped using, the prescription stuff for eczema. So yeah, we've
that's
just
amazing.
seen amazing results. And
Yeah.
it's just one ingredient. It's yeah, a lot of oils are, mixed with things or preservatives or different things like that. But it's literally just cold pressed moringa seeds, and it's not a
Mm,
nut, so we don't usually have difficulties with allergies. So yeah, it's very gentle. Definitely recommend starting with just we call it the simplicity. It's just unscented moringa oil.
I love
Yeah.
love that. It's so good. Especially since it's like a one source thing. Like I find
Mhm.
that a lot of times, because we get a lot of skincare companies who approach us, and sometimes it's like, oh, this is an oil or this is a cream or something, and you look at the ingredients and it is like this long
Yeah.
of all sorts of derivatives and extracts and this and that. And I have to go looking through EWG and, is this synthetic? Is this all natural? Is this harmful? What is this all natural? Like, what is this? And you guys, it's easy. You're like, it's moringa. Done. Like that's great.
End of list.
And
Yeah.
tablets. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. And also that all of your other so talk about the lip whip a little bit. Like the lip whip, it's very few ingredients. It's like peppermint oil. I think there's, oh gosh, I don't even have it in front of me, and I apologize because I don't think it's on the bottle.
All
Um,
good.
it's there's like vitamin E, there's peppermint oil, there's moringa oil, and I think there's like maybe one more ingredient, and it's uh very few, and again, it's all natural. It's in an Earthlove box, it'll always be all natural. So just trying to look at the product description for a second. Yeah, just cold pressed moringa. Oh, and cocoa butter. Yeah, that's it. That's the last one because it makes it kind of creamy and solid. So if you take a look at, oops, I'll open it up here. Um, I love this because it has a lovely autumn color too. It's one of the reasons we picked it. So if your lips are really dry, as Emily said, it's like a very natural moisturizer. And so you have dry lips in the autumn. Um, you just kind of apply it a little bit, and it's got a little bit of a sheen, but it's not too much color. And so it's actually really nice if you're not really into flashy makeup. But even if you are and you have some lipstick, you just want some sheen or some extra moisturizer on it, like it's actually quite lovely. And the peppermint's kind of tingly, so it's actually like wonderful there. I don't know if you can see it at all, but it's actually quite
Yeah.
quite beautiful. Beautiful color. And then you have another one too that's more of a bright pink. So if people want that pop of color, you've got that too. So this is the white gold peppermint lip whip. I was just curious a little bit about like what was your inspiration behind this product, and how do you get the color? Because is it a natural color, or um, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
iron oxide in
absolutely.
it or something like that?
Yeah. So with regard to the color, it's a nature identical mica. We don't
Mm,
use mined mica just because ethical concerns
yep.
and contamination concerns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just lab created, but exactly like the mineral that you would mine. And yeah, that's where the kind of shimmer and color comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And then with regard to the story behind it, the lip whips were kind of one of our first products, and we wanted just something fun for the holidays, but something that was also all natural. So all
Mm,
of the lip colors out there, even if they don't have some of the worst chemicals, we still can find vegan, paraben free, sulfate free,
mm-hmm. Mm,
lip color that was also moisturizing.
yeah.
And in the winter, that's a big deal. Is yeah, you don't want your lips cracking. And so yeah, we got to partner with a lot of different companies and suppliers in Ghana. So a number of our
Mm,
ingredients in our lip whip are sourced from, if they're not our smallholder farming family, it's
mm,
others in the region that we know very well, other companies. And so that's one of the things we try to do every time we formulate a product is think about the whole supply chain, like how
that's
many ingredients can we source from
yeah.
Ghana or from other ethical sources. And then what's really exciting is we've also partnered with a woman-owned, Black-owned small batch manufacturer in the US. So she does the final kind of mixing and
Mm,
magic that makes the finished product. And so, yeah, all along the supply chain, we're really
love that.
intentional about trying to support causes that we care about.
Yeah, yes. And, and different communities and people and everything. You guys really do think about, a lot of times with businesses, even with skin, skincare, it's often about like bottom line and stuff, but you guys really take it like, or they'll say, okay, we're certified fair trade and everything. And like for some industries, fair trade is good and fine, but oftentimes it's almost like a bare min of something. And working directly with farmers, like you guys go way above and beyond about how you think about your products from conception all the way to the consumer. um, and that holistic thinking, I think, is the way of the future and the way that it should go. But it's absolutely commendable because it must take a lot of work and extra effort to have to go through all of that to get there. I think that all too often it's very convenient just to say, go to like a website and okay, jug of this, jug of that, mix it together, what do you got? And really thinking where your source and origin comes from. You could ask, okay, where does this come from? And you should be able to have an answer.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, that's really why we do what we do to try to
Mhm.
kind of think about wellness holistically,
Yeah.
like for the customer, but also for every stakeholder along the supply chain.
Yeah, all the workers and laborers and manufacturers and supply everybody. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's and and if it's goodwill among the whole line, you create a good product at the end. It's like
Mm.
it's a cause and effect thing. But yeah, and oh, I should also point out just for anybody who's tuning in for Earthlove and Micah. I want to just point out Micah because some people will be like, but that's not, it's synthetic. That's not all natural. Okay, this is the asterisk that usually has the fine print. Um, all natural, except for very specific few products. I think mica is one of the few in our box where I will only actually accept synthetic mica. And the reason why, as Emily mentioned, there's a lot of ethical problems with mining natural mica that includes things like strip mining, deforestation, water pollution, and child labor and exploitation. It is a huge problem in very many parts of the world, and so it ends up being this, and a lot of times it's like there's gray areas in a lot of places, and so mica's that one thing that's like if you want to be an ethical company but you want to be an all natural company, but you have to use synthetic mica in order to adhere to your values. And so just for anybody who's just like, but that's not all natural. And the other thing about synthetic mica is it is grown in a lab, but it is pretty much identical to the mica that you would find in a mine. They don't derive any, it is grown, but it's actually just perfectly safe, no problem. EWG can also back that up. So just a little kind of aside here, just for anybody who's wondering about it, and you can research more about mica mining. Okay, back to back to this. I just want to make sure because I do sometimes get questions about mica, so I just want to make sure. And color that often comes from mica, so it could be an mica. Color dry from mica or an iron oxide, and those are fine. So okay.
Good to know. Yeah, it's so confusing. There's so much information out there. So yeah, I appreciate your nuance in that area.
Yeah, it's I've seen a lot of background research when people come to say, "Hey, I want to be your box" or whatever, and it's just like, okay, where does this come from? What's this and that? And it was actually a different. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying it. So it was Tyla from Aether Beauty who really pointed out the mic problem in her eyeshadow. And so it's something that we just anybody and if you're someone who's in this in the wellness or you're making products, just be very very mindful of that. So um yeah, it again, people want black and white. There's often grays, and this is one of those
Mm,
grays. So yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, okay. So I really want to dig in more into so this supply chain you're talking about and how you actually work with farmers because I found this really amazing. You talk about it on your website. You're now have a network of over 5,000, I think, plus probably now,
Mhm.
of farmers in Ghana who are planting the miracle tree, the moringa tree. Um, and so, can you speak a little bit more about like why you went the way you did, as well as how you work with farmers and what does that look like?
Sure, yeah. So we have two ways that we work with farmers. One is the majority of farmers are called outgrower farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have what are called field officers that are responsible for a particular group of farmers. And they form what are called Village Savings and Loan Associations or
Mm.
VSLA groups.
Okay.
And these are used kind of widely throughout the developing world. They're kind of like miniature banks.
Yep.
So they build wealth within the community and just like a method of savings and lending, just like it sounds, savings and loan association.
Yep.
So every week the community comes to meet. They put in whatever they've saved from Moringa income or other income. And this group serves as a platform to build not only wealth, but trust, and to be able to regularly meet and hold each other accountable to making sure their moringa farms are coming along at every stage of the harvest cycle. So the
Mm-hmm.
field officer will come and check in and run these groups. And then they'll, say, have you pruned your trees? Have you harvested this week? And then they'll also serve as a platform to buy
Yep.
moringa seeds from these farmers as well.
Mm.
So that's kind of the outgrower model. Another important thing is that we guarantee a market for every single moringa seed that farmers produce. So we ran into a lot of trust issues in communities
Mm-hmm.
when we were first starting out because different organizations had come in, different government programs or nonprofits. There was a famous sunflower company or government project that
Mm.
basically had come in and provided the training and tools and everything. And then when the sunflower harvest came, there were no buyers.
Oh,
So that's what we wanted to avoid.
yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we're not only, providing the back end of the supply chain, but also the market and a
Mm. Mm-hmm.
sustainable market for that. So that's kind of our outgrower model. And then our in-grower model is newer and much smaller, but we
Okay.
have an organic certified nucleus farm where we
Mm.
grow both moringa seeds and leaves. And this is an area of land that we lease from the community. And so it's an extended lease, 50-year lease. And in this way, we're able to kind of have a little bit more control over what's done on each part of the land and invite people
Mm.
who aren't, serious farmers historically or don't historically have access to land. So
Mm.
typically women, widows, young mothers, they come and take a smaller parcel of land and we're able to train them and smooth their income over the harvest cycle. So
Mm.
whereas traditional farmers, you'd have to wait for the harvest to get paid, in this case, we're able to pay farmers kind of a stipend. And then rather than getting that lump sum at the end, they're getting a consistent kind of salary almost throughout the
Wow.
harvest cycle to be able
That's
to support
like
their family.
That's like that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Have you seen really good results from this program and your as well as the Oak Grove program?
Yeah, yeah. So we've seen good results so far. Every year, we have new farmers wanting to
Mm-hmm.
join the program. COVID-19 obviously put a bit of a stop on expansion for this year, but it also gave us kind of an opportunity to go deeper with existing farmers and kind of evaluate needs. Yeah, we've done a lot of kind of surveys of farmers, looking into our data and analyzing it and figuring out how we can better serve farmers during this time.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I can imagine too that this really gives kind of an opportunity, especially for women and people in more precarious, situations, a bit of that like stability. Because otherwise it's like if you don't have, I don't know where you are in Ghana, but like if you, there's are some places where it's really hard to otherwise like find work or like or find stable income, or if you are tied to the seasons like as a farmer, like if you have a bad year or something like that, it could be really difficult. So
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other great things about Moringa is that it gives you a harvest during the dry season. So
ooh,
when every
yeah.
other crop is kind of not giving you a yield and you're kind of strapped for income, there's another source of income there.
Mm.
So yeah, that's another reason we love to work with Moringa.
So like my farm nerd's gonna, I'm a farmer, so like farm nerd's coming out here. Like so
Nice.
so like I really want to get into like soil prep and like like do you is there are there like you probably have multiple crops, but does moringa grow well with like a companion cropping, or like how does that look like? Is it more of like a grove of trees, like an orchard, or how I'm trying to get a picture in my head of what the landscape looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another great reason to work with moringa is that you can intercrop it with
Mm.
other plants. Peanuts are one thing that
Oh
are
yeah.
really popular. Yeah, it helps other plants grow better. We have different farmers do different spacings, and intercroppings are just like monocrop moringa,
Mm.
based on the size of their land or how serious they are about moringa farming, or if they're just using it as, kind of more of a growing a few backyard trees for their family's usage. But
Mm.
yeah, definitely can intercrop it with other existing crops in the region.
That's amazing. And so you actually, so for the in growers, the people on your parcel, you actually have like an educational program so that, if people come and work, they not only get an income, but they get a bit of an education. They can go, and then if they need to work like elsewhere, they can kind of take that with them. Um, in a way it sounds like you're producing not just wealth, but like a kind of an educational hub that people can then share and learn from in that community as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely the dream. And yeah, the in-grower program is very small this year, but that's absolutely the hope, when we started this nucleus farm, was that it could be kind of a hub of the latest in agricultural technology, as well as, yeah, just a place where people could grow crops to feed their families. And
Mm.
yeah, hopefully after COVID is over, we can expand that program even more. So, yeah.
Oh gosh, that sounds amazing. I absolutely love it. I was working with back when I was a web developer. I was working with another project. It was in Kenya, but they were working on like alleviating poverty in slums through like community hubs, and again, kind of like a
Mm.
local community driven effort. Like this idea of having aid just dropped on you doesn't really work. You really need the people there to be able to manage the day to day of that in order to, like you say, build wealth. And it really seems like you guys are doing a really similar thing here. So, because it's not, again, just about a paycheck and okay, what can I eat tonight, but like it's is about that wealth building so that you can have that local economy kind of lifted. And I love that we're doing it through you're doing it through Moringa. It's so cool. All right.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I just more of a comment than a question.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna shower praise. You're just amazing. Um,
We'll take it.
so I was curious, like, is so that the growing up the in-grower program is kind of like one of your initiatives. Let's talk a little bit about your other initiative, which is like planting trees. And so you guys have planted over, what is it, 2 million trees? This might be more. Um,
Yes, yeah,
two
just
million
over 2
tree.
million.
That's incredible. Oh my goodness. And so,
Thanks.
can you talk a little bit more about that initiative? Is it tied to the first one, or is it are you working with a different organization um, on your tree planting?
Yeah, no, these are our moringa trees that we're planting both on our nucleus farm
Hmm.
and just helping outgrower farmers to plant. And then the third way we've planted trees is through demo plots. So
Mm.
in areas where people might not have heard of moringa before, they're skeptical if they can earn an income or they want to learn more about moringa, they can come to this kind of centralized plot and see like, oh, this is how you do it. This is the yield per acre. This is how I apply organic fertilizer and things like that.
Mm.
So those are the different ways we've planted trees. And we plant a moringa tree. We name a tree after each one of our customers. So
Aww.
every purchase through truemoringa.com, you get an email afterwards and you can look up your tree, learn more about the farmer that it benefits.
Oh my gosh,
And yeah, just
I'm
see your
totally sharing
tree.
that. I didn't even know that. You guys, that's a secret. It's a lovely surprise.
We gotta gotta make that better known.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought I read everything on your website and I missed that. So, oh man, that's cool. All right. All right, everybody, you go to True Moringa and you buy something, you get a moringa tree named after you. That's so cool. Ah. Oh boy. Um, so I'm just also curious. So I love that these two things are actually tied together. You're, again, educating about Moringa, you're getting things planted, and you're expanding that outward to people who, because like Moringa is also, I think I said before, like it be a vegetable as well. You can harvest it as. Have you actually tried it? Is it good? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll say it's an acquired taste.
okay,
The leaves themselves are, they taste like arugula, kind of like a
oh,
spicy
okay.
green.
Hmm.
And then it's also made into powder, which is more of like a spirulina or like matcha, like
Mm.
very strong. If you're into like earthy, crunchy, wonderful things in your smoothie,
Mm.
then it's for you. But yeah, it's very bold taste,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
very, very good for you.
Yeah, and so if you wanted to try moringa is ingest it, the powder is actually good for in a smoothie because it kind of gets blended in a little bit with other flavors. I don't know.
Mhm.
I've never done it as a matcha type thing. That would be,
Mhm.
I imagine it would be very strong, like
Yeah.
taste. Like it's very strong because matcha is also strong, but like this moringa is also quite a bold flavor. Uh, oh boy.
Absolutely.
So give that a try too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So I'm also curious with all of these initiatives and stuff. This is sorry, I didn't ask you that. I didn't send you this question, but I'm just kind of thinking through like, have you had any like kind of barriers to operation, like or any hurdles like you've had to or challenges you've had to overcome as you're building this out? Because you're really like you're one of the few wellness and skincare companies who really, like I say, boots on the ground. Like most people say, oh, we have a supplier in this place, that place, but you guys are really, really, integrated. And so, I'm wondering, like, yeah, if you've had any challenges to this way of working.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Lots of challenges. Last year, I think we had our biggest challenges. We had two separate fires.
Oh
The
no.
first was a wildfire that destroyed a huge portion of our organic seed farm. And
Oh.
then in April of that same year, we lost our entire factory to a separate factory fire. So we were really lucky in both cases
Oh,
that nobody was hurt,
wow.
but it was just a huge blow. And yeah, it was, obviously wouldn't wish it to happen again, but in some ways it was a really big blessing because we got to, start from scratch in many ways and think about what kind of organization do we want to build from the ground up. And in in the world of business, in the world of finance and nonprofit fundraising and for-profit fundraising, everyone's obsessed with scale. Like how
Mm,
many farmers can you reach? How
mm-hmm.
big can your production get?
Yeah.
And we said, let's put a pause on that and think about how do we grow really intentionally. And so
Mm,
we've since built a smaller Moringa powder processing center. We've, gone deeper with our existing farmers rather than kind of spread our network even wider. And so, in a lot of ways, 2019 was good for us as an organization, as tough a teacher as it was, and really helped us to prepare for all the crazy stuff 2020 has thrown our way and everybody's way, and just put things in perspective. And
yeah.
yeah, with COVID, we've had challenges as well, like any small business, with things not shipping on time or
Yeah.
ever. And
Things being
I'm sure
delayed,
as
things
a
not showing up at
subscription
all.
box.
Tracking code not updated for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. So you know better than anyone as a subscription box owner.
Mm,
But yeah, I think just like having that those things happen in 2019
yeah.
just put everything in perspective, and I think our team has been it's been so great to see everybody kind of bond together and yeah, think about why we're really doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a really like good positive mindset too.
Yeah.
I think it's like we'll keep going. But even just the idea of like, because there's even a lot of pressure, I mean, with subscription boxes and it's like how many of this and like how big can you go? And it's just like thinking about, as you say, growing it with intention, rather than and working out making sure that what you're offering and what you're doing, especially for you guys, like is sustainable, like, no matter where you are in the process now that you've been well established for a number of years. So it's like it's not just bigger, 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 it's not bigger's better, but it's like, solidifying those relationships that you already have and building that very strong foundation that you can grow from there. And that
Mhm.
way, even though I know you guys have faced so many challenges with COVID too, you could still be like, yeah, but we can keep going. So that's really important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, so I also want curious, since you do have so much going on, what's next for you guys? What else do you have in the works? What else is
Yeah, absolutely. So two things. The first is something we just launched in partnership with a company called COVID Wears.
Mm.
So it's a merchandise line of cozy sweatshirts, t-shirts, face
Oh yeah.
masks. That are co-branded True Moringa and COVID Wears, and 100% of profits goes back to COVID relief. So
Oh
50%
wow.
benefits hospitals in the US, and then 50% goes to our newly created community fund in Ghana, where we're giving micro grants to farmers who have been
Mm,
really hard hit economically by COVID.
mm.
So yeah, super cute, cozy loungewear for a cause doesn't get much better than that, in my
That's
opinion.
that's amazing.
Um,
Yeah, and you can support, farmers through this difficult time because it's still very hard, even if you're in the field or whatever. It doesn't, it affects you in different ways. So, if your
mhm,
family gets it and you don't have, you might not have an hospital outlet, or you might have to go several miles for help, or you might need to supply, or the market might dwindle locally or things like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I guess that's another really good question, is like, how have you guys, as well as with the farmers, like, kept trucking along even through COVID? And did you have to change anything there? Sorry, sort of throw that one at
Yeah.
you. I'm just really curious,
No,
like, how
no,
things have changed.
that's
Like,
That's a great question. Yeah, no, it was really difficult initially to just, maintain that weekly connection through the VSLA meetings, and in a lot of cases, dealing with the communication breakdowns in
mhm,
areas where there's not reliable internet or
yeah.
cell service. And so, yeah, making sure that we maintained the community trust and had our field
Mm,
officers kind of communicating with farmers, and purchasing seeds socially distantly, and just setting up new protocols there. And then on the market side in Ghana, we sell our moringa powder and oil locally, in the
mm,
Ghanaian market as well. And when the country went into lockdown because of the outbreak of COVID, basically all of our sales there came to a halt. And in Ghana, there
yeah.
wasn't much e-commerce, so it was pretty much retail. And a lot of our friends' brands had similar issues where, 70 to 95% of their sales were in retail stores, which were not being heavily trafficked. And so we
Mm.
worked on creating a platform called thrivetogether.store.
Ooh.
So it's an e-commerce website for brands in Ghana. And it's everything from, essentials, groceries, and just like made in Ghana brands that are doing good and creating jobs locally in the community.
Mm.
And customers in Ghana can shop safely online, and we do our own delivery. It's just fully integrated from, yeah, everything from the e-commerce site, the warehousing to the delivery
Wow.
is done through us there. So that was one of the bigger initiatives or things that changed
Yeah.
locally in Ghana during COVID.
I love that whenever life throws difficult things at you guys, you're just like, what can we do? And then you make something amazing, like every time. Like, it's just so awesome.
Oh, thanks.
That's so good. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
funny.
can so this is a local website. Can people who aren't in Ghana come and visit it, or is it like only like pick up or something like that, or is it shipped international? If people want to
Yeah,
find out more about things made in Ghana, and yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely geared toward the Ghanaian markets, but a lot of the brands on the platform do have international shipping. And would be happy to know if they don't have international shipping that there are, customers out there that would be interested if they
Okay,
made that an
great.
option.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can definitely check out
Okay.
Thrive Together
Hmm.
on Instagram, and yeah,
Yeah.
see what brands are of interest there.
All right. So for all of you Earthlove members who DM me from time to time asking for more brands from Africa, check this out, because it's amazing, and I'm sure the brands are amazing, and Ghana is amazing. So it's a wonderful country. And so yeah, check out thrivetogether.store if you want to figure it. And True Moringa's on there as well. So all right. That's awesome. Yeah, we get from time to time. There's the two, I think, requests I get the most from just like places around the world that people want to see more from. Is one is stuff from countries in Africa, which is one of the reasons why I think I started Illumination's global sustainability box, just to kind of highlight all the eco businesses and initiatives, and like people doing amazing things all around the world that you might not otherwise hear about, because we get so
Mhm.
locked up in our own local news and culture and politics that you don't really see, beyond that, especially in the United States and Canada. I'm Canadian, so Canada was a little bit more global looking because it was so small.
Yeah.
But I bet America gets kind of engulfed in its own crazy to see beyond that. So yeah.
That's true.
Or just can't look away from the train wrecks happening everywhere. And so that there's amazing things happening and eco initiatives happening around the world. And then, yeah, the second one is Native American or indigenous people backed businesses or owned businesses as well. So I'm always trying to look for those. And so I love that you have this really, say intimate, but like connection with local communities in Ghana and people in Ghana, rather than just saying, oh, you know, we source from there, don't know who it is. You could probably be like, oh yeah, I go to our local farm and we have, you know, these people working right now and this person's amazing. You know, building those relationships like across the pond, and it's so important.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. And all right, is there anything else that you would like to share with Earthlove members or the community at large, about True Moringa or anything we've talked about?
Yeah, no, I think you did a great job covering all the bases. We do have a new product launch coming tomorrow, so we'd love for you to follow us
That's
and learn
exciting.
more about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, I feel like this was such a great conversation. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to follow True Moringa, you can follow them on Instagram at just at True Moringa. They're also on Facebook and various other social media. If you want to try again the lip whip, it's for, I think they sell it for $16 on their website, so that's the retail value. Or if you want to try it in an Earthlove box, again, we are shipping. I also highly recommend, they shipped me a neroli moringa oil and it was absolutely lovely. Like, so if you really want to try a moringa product, try their simplicity, which Emily talked about, or the neroli version. Neroli is also very good for the skin. They pair very, very well together. And so yeah, and otherwise, if you have any questions, just reach out to Emily, either DM at True Moringa on Instagram or Facebook, or just directly from the website. She's absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy. I was so happy to talk to her and learn more about this. There's so many things I didn't even know, which is always exciting. I love it. And so you're awesome. Thank you so much, and I will be posting this very, very soon. We'll post this on YouTube, and then if I can, I'll also post it on IGTV. I don't know if it'll let me if it's an external video, but we'll hopefully see. So that yeah. Anyway, all right.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so good. And if you, again, you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, have an amazing day. Yeah.